The paper was broadly divided into two parts. Part 1, which was aptitude, and part 2, which was GK and essay writing. Part 1 was quantitative aptitude and DI, which formed the first section, which was of 27 questions. Verbal and logical ability, which was 24 questions, from the second section. And decision making of 21 questions from the third section. And these three sections put together were given 170 minutes for completion. Let's delve into each one of the sections of part 1, one after the other. The data interpretation and quantitative ability section comprised of 17 questions of quant, 8 questions of data interpretation, and 2 questions of caselets with data sufficiency. With just 17 questions of quant, it was not possible to do justice to all areas of quant. It was unusual to see that there was just one question on numbers, 2 questions on algebra, 1 question on P&L from arithmetic section. Ratio related chapters had a limited share of just 2 questions with 1 each from time and work and time and distance. Geometry and trigonometry had a usual share of 4 questions, most of which were difficult. Apart from that, some random questions. So that is, there was 1 question each on probability, 1 on progression, 1 on set theory. But overall, the difficulty level of quant can be considered to be really easy. There were 2 sets of DI of 4 questions each. One, undoubtedly the very typical XAT DI set, which was difficult to comprehend and more or less you can consider it a default leave. And there was one more table based set which was there. Overall, approximately allocating a 60 minutes to this question, a 98 percentiler would have managed around 20 attempts with a net score of 14, which can be considered to be a 98 percentile equivalent. The verbal and logical ability section of 24 questions can be divided into 2 logical parts. One is reading comprehension, the other one verbal ability based questions. As far as the reading comprehension based questions are concerned, there were 4 RCs were of really varied lengths. So there was an RC which had 550 words in it, followed by 3 questions. There were 2 RCs of 450 words each, which had 3 and 4 questions for them respectively. And there was a paragraph based RC which was hardly 250 words, followed by 2 questions. All in all, the RCs can be considered to be moderate in terms of difficulty level because most of the questions were inference based. The remaining 12 questions had a very good spread. There were 2 questions which are poem based in the test paper, which had where we had to find the central idea or the gist. There were 2 questions on parajumbles, 1 on analogies, 2 on grammar based questions to fill in the blanks, discussing the usages of words, and 3 questions on critical reasoning. Overall, if allocated 55 minutes for this section, approximately an 18 to 19 attempts were possible for somebody who is targeting a 98 percentile. And owing to the inference-based pattern which XAT generally follows, a good score in this section can be considered to be 11 for an equivalent 98 percentile. The section on decision making had a good spread of questions. So this had 6 questions of logical reasoning. There were 4 questions which were business decision related questions, 3 questions on ethics, and 8 questions were of miscellaneous decision making. If I go to the logical reasoning part, it was just divided into 2 sets of 3 questions each. Again, the arrangement puzzle based questions. And these questions can be considered to be moderate to difficult. As far as decision making portion was concerned, there were caselets of 1, 2 or 3 questions each. Overall, this section was of moderate difficulty level, and in a suggested time of 55 minutes, approximately 17 attempts were possible. A good score in this section can be considered to be a 10 for an equivalent of a 98 percentile. The part 2 of the XAT 2017 paper, the GK section, was a very good mix of geography, TV, movies, business, history, personalities, and current affairs based questions. A score of 8 to 10 can be considered a good score. Just the fact that it is not considered for a percentile, a lot of kids do end up taking this reasonably lightly. The second section is essay writing. The topic in itself was a lovely thought-provoking topic. But just that the word jingoism in itself wouldn't have gone down well with a lot of takers. Apart from that, the topic was brilliant, and again one of those master strokes from XAT in terms of the depth of the topic that they give for essay writing. The overall analysis of the paper, the first section, which is quant and DI section, which had 27 questions in it, suggested time is 60 minutes for this. Good attempts can be considered to be 20, and a good score in this section can be 14, which can be equivalent of a 98 percentile. Level of difficulty for this section, we can break it down into quant and DI, where quant was easy to moderate and DI was moderate to difficult. Our predicted cutoff for XLRI for this section will be 9. Moving to the second section, which is verbal and logical reasoning. There were 24 questions in this section. Our suggested time breakup is 55 minutes. Good attempts in this section can be approximately 18 to 19 with a good score being 11. The section can be termed moderate on difficulty level and cutoff for XLRI could be around 9. Moving to the third section, which is decision making. There were 21 questions which deserved approximately 55 minutes of attention. 17 questions can be considered to be a good attempt in this, and a good score in this section can be considered to be 10. Difficulty level of this section can also be considered moderate, and cutoff for XLRI for this section will be approximately a score of 7. The estimated cutoff for XLRI for this XAT 2017 will be around a score of 34. For XIM Bhubaneswar 29, IMT Ghaziabad approximately 29 again. GIM, which is Goa Institute of Management, will be around 24. LIBA will be around 20. For other institutes, in case you have any doubts, please raise it in the comment section of this particular video.